Very good morning, students. Today we'll be dealing with the topic Karta and his powers under Hindu law. Now, as we know, we have discussed a little bit who is Karta, and what we understood is normally Karta is a head of family to whom everyone obeys. So, while remaining in such an important position in the family, he have to perform many duties. Apart of that, he have many rights too. So in this lecture of today we'll be dealing with Karta and his powers, which are provided under Hindu law by the implied or express provisions. Now let us see what do we mean by the powers which the Karta is having. So Karta may be also called as a manager, and what his position is as a manager become very important for us to understand in order to understand the entire concept of karta. Students, the karta is like a trustee of the financial trust. When we talk about the role of the family, so far as maintaining the income and the expenditure of the same, when we say the income belonging to an individual are put in a common stock, when we talk about a joint Hindu family, then in that case, one person who is considered to be a karta is like a trustee of that particular financial trust which has been created in the family. So whatever the financial affairs been conducted by the family and whatever the income been accumulated in the family income, then in that case the karta would be called as a trustee of the same. He is neither the agent or nor the principal of joint Hindu family or other Kopasnas. He cannot be considered to be an agent, nor he is a principal, but he is a water. He is the head of the joint Hindu family, and he would be considered to be head among the other Kopasnas. So, Karta is like a trustee of the financial trust. He is neither the agent or nor principal of joint Hindu family or the other Kopasnas. If we take into consideration what the role Karta plays while staying in a family as a head of the family, then in that case we could see that he is a sort of representative owner. We have in our earlier slide discussed that Karta is not an agent nor he is a principal, but who he is a person who is called to be a representative owner. His independent rights being limited on all the sides. So it does not mean that he is head, so he can do each and everything. He can do what the way he can live what the way he wish to live. He can do whatever he likes to do. That is not the thing. Actually, being a karta, he lives in a dual capacity. One capacity is the karta, and the another capacity is a co-partner of that particular family. When we consider him to be a co-partner, he'll be enjoying each and every right as the other co-partners are living. But when we talk about his role to be a karta, then in that case his independent right becomes limited on all these sides, which are correlative rights of the others. Now, Karta is burdened with a liability coextensive with the ownership to provide maintenance to the family. So, Karta is burdened with a liability coextensive with the ownership. Coextensive with the ownership, that is to say, because in our earlier sentence, in our earlier point, what we have seen that karta is a representative owner. So ownership of the family property lies in him. He is a representative owner of the family property. So karta is burdened with the liability coextensive with the ownership to provide a maintenance to the family. Whatever the family members are there, the dependents are there, they all being considered to be entitled to be maintained by the income which is taking place in the joint family. So Karta is burdened with the liability. He have to maintain each and every family member. He have to provide maintenance to each and every family member. So here the role of Karta becomes very important. Students, we have till yet seen two important roles. Firstly, we have seen that he is a sort of representative owner, and his independent rights are limited on all the fronts. Second is Karta is burdened with the liability to maintain each and every family member whosoever is living in the family. Next is, what is the liability of Karta? So in absence of proof of misappropriation or a fraud or improper conversion of the money to the person used, the Karta is not liable to account. So if any of the co-partner does any of misappropriation or a fraud or improper conversion, then in that case, improper conversion of the family money, then in that case, Karta would not be held liable for the same. But yes, suppose if Karta misappropriates, Karta do the fraud, Karta do the improper conversion of the money, then in that case, definitely the Karta would be held accountable, because the co-partners do have a right to ask for the accounts. That is what we have studied in our earlier lectures. So, in absence of proof of misappropriation or fraud or improper conversion of money to the person used, the Karta is not liable to account. So, it means that if Karta has done, he will be responsible. If Karta has not done, it is proved that there is no proof that Karta has done misappropriation or a fraud or improper conversion, then in that case, Karta would not be held responsible for the same. Next is, he is liable to account only for what he has received and not for what he ought to or might have received if the money had been profitably dealt with. So, another important basically liability of the Karta is, he is liable to account only for what he has received, for the reason that only the amount which he has received he'll be in a position to deal with. But whatever he may have received, that is not actually, because certain thing he may have received, he may not have received. So whatever he has actually received, he'd be responsible for that. But what he may have received or what he ought to have received, he will not be held responsible for the same. So again, important thing is, here the role of karta is is to be performed very strictly by whosoever been considered to be head of the family. If we take into consideration the general powers of manager or general powers of karta, because karta is nothing but a manager of the family. So general powers of manager, yeah, general powers of karta means what? Firstly, he have a control over the income or the expenditure of family income. Second one is, he is having a power to manage a joint family business. Third one is, he is having a power to contract debts for family purposes. Fourth is, he is having a power to contract. Fifth, power to alienate joint family property. Sixth is power to acknowledge debts. Next is power to represent. Next is power of possession and management. Next is power to compromise or to give discharge. So student, these are the general powers of manager, that is to say karta. Now let us see one by one what are these particular heads says. Firstly, Karta, we have discussed, is having a control over the income and expenditure of the income which are taking place or which is taking place in the family. So, Karta or a manager has a control over that particular income. Also, the control over the expenses which are taking place in the family. Second, he is a custodian of the surplus. Whatever the surplus amount is received in the family, the custody of that surplus thing would be in the possession or in the control of Karta. He is entitled to administer the family fund for the family purposes such as maintenance, education, and marriage. Whatever the family is having a fund, whatever the family is having an income, when we are saying that the control over that particular income and the expenditure of that particular money, all is depend upon karta. So karta may be a person who is entitled to administer the family fund. Whatever been put in the common stock would become a family fund. So Karta is entitled to administer this family fund for family purposes such as maintenance, education, marriage, etc. Next is Karta is not answerable if he spends more on family purposes than what the other co-partners approves of. Suppose, for example, Karta likes the youngest one in the family, and therefore, in the marriage of the youngest one, Karta spends much money. Then, in that case, even though the amount which is actually approved by the other co-partners, this particular amount which has been expended by the which had been actually done in the expense in the marriage, then in that case the karta is not answerable to that, provided that particular amount or the expenses which the karta has made is for the family purpose only. Then next is karta has a power to allot fund to the members and their dependents and to look after their needs and requirements. When we say that karta is having a power as well as he is having a liability coextensive with that of the ownership to provide a maintenance to the family and its members, then in that case, by virtue of that particular liability, the karta has a right to allot funds to the members and their dependents and to look after their needs and the requirements. Now, students, we have in our earlier lecture held that only the male members used to be the co-partners in the joint family property. That is to say, only the male member who takes birth in that particular family would be considered to be the co-partner. But apart of that, there are the other members in the family too. Suppose, for example, the wife and the unmarried daughter or the children of that particular co-partner. So, if the children includes the son, then in that case, definitely they would be having a right to have a claim in that particular family property as a co-partner. So there get them getting the maintenance is not a question, but whosoever is not a co-partner, that is to say mother, unmarried daughter and the wife, then in that case they cannot be considered to be a co-partner as per the earlier law, and hence they become a member dependent in the family, and they are dependent for the purposes of their maintenance over the other co-partners. So whenever we talk about that karta is responsible to allot a fund to the members and their dependents, means what karta is having a power to allot a fund to the co-partners and their dependents so that they can meet out their needs and other requirements. Now let us see what the other right says. Karta's other right is the power to manage joint family business. Students, karta has a power to manage joint family business. In the family business, he has a full power to do following acts. Now, what are these following acts? Firstly, the contract debts he can, for the purposes of developing the family business, he can have a contract, thereby he can secure debts for the purposes of expansion or for the purposes of doing a family business. Second one is he can discharge the other from the liability. Suppose if he has given a loan to somebody, or suppose he have given a debt to somebody, and this other person is unable to pay that particular debt or is not in a position to pay that particular debt, then in that case it is solely upon the karta to discharge him from the liability. But yes, definitely whenever the other co-partners asks the karta, then in that case karta would be in a position to say the things, for the reason that in our earlier slides, we have seen that the co-partners have a right to account, and whenever the co-partners, by virtue of its right, exercise it and thereby asks the account of expenses, then in that case, an account of discharge, then in that case, the karta would be under liability to give the explanation of the same. Here, the karta is having a power to discharge the other from the liability, but if suppose being challenged by the co-partner, then in that case the karta have to give an account for the same. Next is the right to manage the business. Karta is having a right to manage the joint family business. He can take a decision in relation to that particular business. If the profit comes in the hands of the Karta, then in that case, definitely that particular profit would be considered to be a joint family property. But if suppose there is a loss which occurred due to the decision taken by the Karta, then in that case he have to make a answer. He will be considered to be answerable for the same. If he has taken the decision with a misappropriation of fund in his mind, then in that case he'll be made accountable. But if it is not so, then in that case, even if the family loses the money or puts under a loss, then in that case also karta, if done with an intent for the benefit of the family, would not be answerable for the same. But yes, definitely the co-partners would be having a right to ask for the account. Next is manage business accounts. The Karta is also having a full powers to manage the business accounts. That is to say, what amount to be done, expenses for what particular purposes. Next is manage business income and expenditure. So not only the family income and expenditure, but also the family business income and expenditure. The Karta is having a power to manage. Next is the power to contract debts for family purpose. When we say that Karta is having a power to contract debt for family purpose, that is to say the Karta has authority and power to take a loan for the purposes and to basically extend to their interest in the joint family property, and the adult co-partner personally also, if they be a party to the contract expressly or impliedly, or if they subsequently ratify the contract of minor, if they ratify later on attaining the majority. That is to say, whatever the contract the karta has entered into for the purposes of taking a debt for the purposes of family, then in that case the karta is having the authority as well as the power to do so. He may take a loan, he may take a debt for meeting the family purposes, for meeting the family business expenses, and in that case it would be depend upon, it would be having a binding effect over the co-partners. But to what extent the co-partner would be held to be bound by the same? To the extent the co-partners are going to get interest in the property. सपोज फॉर एग्जाम्पल के तौर पे अगर कर्ता जो है, यदि वो एक फिक्स अमाउंट ऑफ लोन लेता है फैमिली को अपब्रिंग करने के पर्पज से, फैमिली रिक्वायरमेंट्स को मीट आउट करने के पर्पज से, या फिर फैमिली बिजनेस को मीट आउट करने के पर्पज से, एंड इफ सपोज, क्योंकि ये तो कर्जा है, अगर मान लीजिए कल कर्ता पे नहीं कर पाता है, देन इन दैट केस उसकी भरपाई कैसे की जाएगी और किससे की जाएगी? तो डेफिनेटली, क्योंकि कर्ता ने ये पैसे किस लिए, लोन किस लिए लिया है, फैमिली बिजनेस के लिए लिया है, या फैमिली बिजनेस को प्रमोट करने के लिए लिया है, बढ़ाने के लिए लिया है, फैमिली पर्पस के लिए लिया है, दैट इज टू से मैरिज, एजुकेशन, मेंटेनेंस है, इन सब चीज़ों के लिए लिया है, देन इन दैट केस ऐसी सिचुएशन में यदि कर्ता मान लीजिए पे नहीं कर पाता है, तो वो रिकवर किया जाएगा अदर कोपार्टनर्स से। अब अदर कोपार्टनर्स से क्यों रिकवर किया जाएगा? तो उसका एक पर्पज ऐसा है, क्योंकि कोपार्टनर्स जो हैं वो मेंटेन होने का राइट रख रहे हैं उस पर्टिकुलर प्रॉपर्टी में से। जब वो मेंटेन होने का राइट रख रहे हैं उस पर्टिकुलर प्रॉपर्टी में से, तो डेफिनेटली उनके ऊपर लायबिलिटी भी आती है कि जब कभी ऐसी सिचुएशन अराइज हो तो वो क्या करें, उसको रिफंड करें। दूसरी बात, अब कितने एक्सटेंट तक रिफंड करेंगे? तो भाई जितने एक्सटेंट तक वो हासिल करेंगे उतना ही एक्सटेंट तक वो क्या करेंगे, रिफंड करेंगे। तो हर एक को पार्टनर का इंडिविजुअल जितना इंटरेस्ट उस पर्टिकुलर जॉइंट फैमिली प्रॉपर्टी में है, उतना इंटरेस्ट तक ही को पार्टनर वुड बी हेल्ड लायबल, अदरवाइज नॉट। अब ये तो बात तब हो गई जब वो एडल्ट को पार्टनर है ना, तब जाके वो भी बेसिकली क्या बन सकता है, पार्टी टू द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट बन सकता है। वो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट जो कि कौन एंटर कर रहा है, कर्ता एंटर कर रहा है। और लेकिन मान लीजिए अगर माइनर है, क्योंकि कोपार्टनर्स में तो माइनर भी होते हैं, तो अगर मान लीजिए कोपार्टनर में माइनर है, देन इन दैट केस ये पर्टिकुलर माइनर जो है ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट को रेटिफाई कर सकता है इवन आफ्टर अटेनिंग अ मेजॉरिटी, क्योंकि अभी तो हम उसको रिस्पॉन्सिबल नहीं ठहराएंगे माइनर को फॉर द पेमेंट ऑफ द मनी, क्योंकि माइनर अगर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में एंटर होता भी है तो विल ऑलवेज बी कंसिडर टू बी अ बेनिफिशियरी ओनली। सो कब हम लायबिलिटी ठहराते हैं उसके ऊपर, व्हेन ही अटेंड्स द मेजॉरिटी। So, whatever the contract entered into by the minor for the purposes of taking a debt, then in that case, though till his minority, the other co-passers would be, to the extent they acquire the interest in the joint family property, would be held responsible for the repayment of the said. But if, suppose if a minor is there, then in that case, he can ratify it later on, attaining the majority, and thereby he'll be able to pay the amount to the extent he acquires as a co-partner from the joint family property. Next, these are the powers of the Karta to contract. So, powers of Karta to contract means to contract, to compromise, to discharge claims incidental on the business of a family, and giving receipts. Giving receipts means what? He is acknowledging the credit, he is acknowledging the debts. So, giving receipts. So, Karta's power is to enter into contract, to compromise, that is to say, he'll be discharging anybody from the liability. Next is discharge claims incidental on business of a family. Not only the family affairs he'll be compromising, in family affairs he'll be compromising, but he'll be also discharging powers over claims which are incidental on the business of the family. A part of that, he'll be also having a power to give receipts for whatever he has received and whatever he has done the expenditure. Now, next is a power to alienate a joint family property. Now, power to alienate a joint family property means what? The manager of the joint family property has a power to alienate joint family property for a legal necessities or for the benefit of a state or and for the acts of indispensable duties. It can only be exercised rightly in case of need और फॉर द बेनिफिट और एस्टेट. स्टूडेंट्स यहाँ पे करता जो है वो क्योंकि मैनेजर है जॉइंट फैमिली प्रॉपर्टी का, सो उसको प्रॉपर्टी जो है वो ट्रांसफ़र करने का राइट है, बट प्रॉपर्टी वो कौन सी सिचुएशन में ट्रांसफ़र करेगा उसके लिए कुछ रिक्वायरमेंट्स दी गई हैं और ये रिक्वायरमेंट्स हम लीगल नेसेसिटीज़ के नाम से जानते हैं. अब ये लीगल नेसेसिटीज़ क्या क्या हो सकती हैं? सबसे पहले अगर प्रॉपर्टी एलिनिएट करना फैमिली प्रॉपर्टी के लिए हितकारी है, अगर वो फैमिली प्रॉपर्टी के बेनिफिट में, इफ इट इज़ फॉर द बेनिफिट ऑफ द स्टेट, then in that case definitely that particular property may be alienated. If the alienation, if the act of alienation is necessary as an indispensable duties, the duties which need to be complied with, then in that case for the purposes of those act also the property could be alienated. It can be exercised only in case of a need and for the benefit of the state. But whenever Karta is transferring that property as in the position of a manager, then in that case one thing he have to keep it in mind that he have to exercise it rightly. That is to say, whenever we are transferring a property as a karta, then in that case there is a need to transfer it and that is for the benefit of the state. Now let us see what is the powers of manager to acknowledge the debts. So Karta has a power to acknowledge the debts or make a part of it as to the extent the period of limitation. So to the extent of period of limitation, Karta is having a power to acknowledge the debts and make a part of it. That is to say, make a part of it means what? If suppose debt has been incurred by Karta with a condition that he'll be paying 70% of that particular debt within a period of 2 years, then in that case he'll be having a right to spend that particular percentage of that particular debt within a period of 2 years. So the Karta has a power to acknowledge the debt. He has acknowledged the debt. Oh yes, I have taken a debt. मेरे ऊपर debt है, मैं इसको फेडूंगा. इस तरीके से उसने acknowledge कर लिया है. साथ ही साथ उसने उसका कुछ पार्ट पेमेंट भी कर दिया है, उतना पार्ट पेमेंट कर दिया है जितना कि ज़रूरी बताया गया था एट द टाइम ऑफ एंटरिंग इनटू अ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट और उतने पीरियड के अंदर जितने पीरियड का लिमिटेशन हमको प्रोवाइड किया गया था. सपोज फॉर एग्जांपल के तौर पे मैंने लोन लिया 50,000 का 3 महीनों के लिए, तो मुझे 3 महीने का टाइम मिला है, तो 3 महीनों के टाइम पीरियड में मैं एक्नॉलेजमेंट के अनुसार यानी मेरे डेब्ट्स को जो मैंने एक्नॉलेज किया उसके अनुसार मैं क्या कर सकती हूँ, उसका पेमेंट भी कर सकती हूँ. सो आई हैव अ पावर टू acknowledge the debts. That is to say, Karta is having a power to acknowledge the debts and to make a part of it to the extent the period of limitation operates. Next is the power to represent. Karta represents the family in all the transactions relating to the family. He represents the family in all the suits, in all legal proceedings. Apart of that, the manager of joint Hindu family may sue or may be sued in respect of the transactions which are entered into by him as a manager of the family or in respect of joint family property, and the decree passed against him will be binding on all the other members of the family. So students, कर्ता represent the family. सारे transaction में जो भी transaction family से related है या family business से related है, a part of that वो रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है फैमिली को सारी लीगल प्रोसीडिंग्स में। साथ ही साथ उसके ऊपर केस किया जा सकता है, वो भी किसी के ऊपर केस कर सकता है किसी पर्टिकुलर ट्रांजेक्शन को लेके। साथ ही साथ वॉट एवर जो भी डिक्री पास होगी वो डिक्री जो है वो सारे मेंबर्स के ऊपर बाइंडिंग मानी जाएगी, फिर भले ही वो डिक्री जो है वो कर्ता के अगेंस्ट में क्यों ना पास हो, वो डिक्री सारे मेंबर्स के ऊपर फैमिली मेंबर्स के ऊपर बाइंडिंग मानी जाएगी। Then power of possession and management. Karta has an actual possession and management of the Kopasnari property and its family business. He is head of the family and his power of management are absolute. उसका पूरा absolute power होता है family business को, family affairs को manage करने का. He may manage family affairs too. वो family affairs भी manage करने का right रखता है. So these are the things which are covered under the head power of possession and management. Now, power to compromise or to give a discharge. Karta have a right to self-account with the debtor. He may also give a valid discharge of the debt due to the joint family property. Karta जो है उसको self account रखने का right होता है debtor के साथ ही साथ वो एक valid discharge भी दे सकता है किसी को भी कर्जे से। आउट ऑफ दैट बेसिकली जो फैमिली प्रॉपर्टी है उस पे यदि किसी ने सपोज फैमिली मेंबर ने या किसी बाहर वाले को हमने कर्जा दिया है, देन इन दैट केस वो फैमिली इनकम में से, देन इन दैट केस कर्ता इज हैविंग अ पावर to give a valid discharge to that particular person from that particular debt. So students, these were the basically powers which are considered to be general powers of the karta. I hope you have understood the same. In the slide in between we have rightly from number 1 to number 9 we have dealt with general powers of manager, wherein we have dealt with control over income or expenditure, the power to manage joint family business, the power to contract debt for family purpose, the power to contract, power to alienate joint family property, power to acknowledge debts, power to represent, power of possession and management, and power to compromise or to give discharge. And I have given a sufficient explanation of the same. I hope you have understood the concept and you have no doubt in respect to it. But still, if you have a doubt, you may ask me questions.